Imagine a city pulsating with life, neon lights cutting through the mist, and rain-soaked streets reflecting the chaos and calm of modern Seoul. But underneath this vibrant exterior, something unspeakable is lurking, a shadow in human form. This isn't just any nightmare. It's the true story of Yoo Young-chul, a serial killer who terrorized South Korea in a rampage that left an entire country in shock. The rich should suffer too. That's what he thought, and he made sure his victims paid the price. But was it just a vendetta against wealth or something darker? Yoo Young-chul's beginnings weren't extraordinary. Born in the rural town of Gocheng in 1970, he seemed like any other kid. Until he wasn't. By his teens, he was already a petty thief with a rap sheet longer than most people's resumes. Burglary, fraud, assault. His crimes ran the gamut, keeping the local police busy. But he harbored resentment toward society, especially the wealthy elite, and developed a twisted mission: to rid the world of the privileged and cleanse it, one brutal act at a time. His spree began in September 2003. His method was as horrific as it was simple. Yoo would identify affluent elderly couples in upscale neighborhoods, break into their homes, and unleash a reign of terror. Using a blunt hammer as his weapon, he left scenes so gruesome that even seasoned detectives recoiled. This wasn't just about killing. It was Yoo's brutal brand of justice. He was methodical, patient, and disturbingly cool-headed. To Yoo, this wasn't about thrill or rage. It was something much colder. This was business. But Yoo wasn't content with his so-called war on the rich. Soon his bloodlust expanded to target society's most vulnerable, the women working in Seoul's red light districts. His motives shifted, or perhaps he was revealing his true nature. His first target in the red light district was a woman who had no idea the man she welcomed into her home had an ulterior motive. Yoo didn't just kill. He used these moments to satisfy his own dark desires, showing no remorse, only cold satisfaction. They say, don't judge a book by its cover. But if you found yourself staring into Yoo Young-chul's eyes, maybe trust your instincts. Behind those eyes was a mind twisted by hate, yet so disturbingly calm you might think he was contemplating dinner, not his next horrific crime. It didn't take long for the police to realize they had a monster on their hands. But finding him was like hunting a ghost. Yoo was clever. He altered his appearance, shifted locations, and changed his methods just enough to keep the authorities chasing shadows. Weeks turned into months, and Seoul was gripped by fear. In July 2004, after nearly a year of terrorizing the city, Yoo made a mistake. He grew cocky, sloppy even, and, in a twisted bit of irony, it was his arrogance that led to his capture. He was caught trying to lure in another victim in the heart of Seoul. The police pounced, and suddenly the phantom killer was real, a man who, in custody, was almost too eager to talk. "Yes, I did it, all of it," he confessed, his tone almost smug. Yoo described his killings with such detail and nonchalance that detectives questioned if he truly understood the weight of his crimes. But Yoo didn't care. In his mind, he was a soldier with a mission. His mission was to punish the weak, the immoral, and the corrupt. But really, it was a justification wrapped in a delusion, an excuse for his unimaginable brutality. In the courtroom, people gathered to see the man who had haunted their nightmares, the man responsible for taking 20 innocent lives. They wanted answers, and maybe, just maybe, they wanted to know what kind of monster could commit such heinous acts. But Yoo wasn't about to give them satisfaction. Instead, he reveled in the spotlight, smiling coldly as his atrocities were listed out. And in a moment that stunned even the judge, he looked around the courtroom and said, "I'll do it again if I ever get the chance." The courts wasted no time. Yoo Young-chul was sentenced to death, a fate he accepted with chilling composure. In his mind, he had done his job. He had lived out his dark fantasy, left his mark, and watched a nation tremble. As he awaited his fate on death row, Yoo's story became a haunting reminder of the evil that can lurk in the quiet corners of society. His crimes left a permanent scar on South Korea, sparking debates on everything from wealth disparity to the death penalty. Yoo Young-chul's story is a dark parable about the human mind's capacity for cruelty. He was a man whose hatred turned him into something less than human, a specter of his own twisted ideals. So, as we leave this story behind, take a moment to consider. Beneath the veneer of modern cities and busy streets, there are shadows we dare not see, stories we dare not tell. And yet sometimes, those stories find their way to us.